On a beautiful Caribbean island, inhabited by descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, a community of resilient souls yearned for the spiritual wisdom of their ancestors. The weight of history's injustices burdened their hearts, and among them, Destiny, a spiritually gifted young woman, felt the weight more profoundly than most. Destiny was an avid reader and grew up listening to the stories passed down by her elders. Tales of struggles and atrocities that her ancestors endured, but also tales of the resilience and courage displayed by great men and women who, like her, cherished community and enlightenment. But she could not ignore the prevalence of societal ills in their village. Decadence was rampant and seemed to infiltrate every aspect of their lives, giving various reasons for blame and finger-pointing. The cycle of shame and blame kept them captive, preventing them from fully embracing their identities and realizing their true potential. One night, as Destiny stood on the shores of her favorite beach, a beloved elder, fondly known as Papa, approached her. Nobody knew how old Papa was. To everyone in the village, he has always been an old man. His wisdom and compassion were well known, and Destiny often sought his guidance. Sensing her inner turmoil, Papa stood beside her. "I see the weight you carry, young one," Papa said softly, his eyes filled with understanding. "But I also see the strength that lies within you." Tears welled up in Destiny's eyes as she poured out her heart, expressing her frustrations with all the wrongdoings that seemed to surround her community. She spoke of the villagers' shortcomings and their reluctance, from her point of view, to want to rise above their current circumstances. Papa listened attentively, offering his kind presence as a place for her to release her woes. He then said, "Destiny, my dear, the burden of history is heavy, but blaming others will not lighten it. You see, the past has left its mark on us all, but we must be cautious not to let it define who we are. Blame is like poison. It only perpetuates suffering." Destiny gazed at Papa, her heart touched by his words. She asked, "But how can we break free from this cycle, Papa? How can we escape the pain of the past?" Papa smiled gently and said, "Acceptance, my child. Acceptance is the first step towards liberation. We must acknowledge the conditioning we have inherited, the pain we carry, and the ways in which it has shaped us. but we must not let it imprison us. Instead, let it be a guide for compassion and understanding, both for ourselves and others. As Destiny pondered his words, a newfound sense of clarity washed over her. She understood that they were not to be blamed for the past. They were, in fact, responsible for shaping their future. They could honor their ancestors by breaking free from the chains of shame and blame and embrace the power that lay within them to effect change. Destiny returned to her village with a resolve to share Papa's wisdom. Gathering all who would listen, she spoke passionately about acceptance and compassion. She shared her journey of self-discovery and the realization that they were not defined by their past. Instead, they could redefine themselves and their future. As her words resonated, a transformation began to take root within the community. People started to let go of their blame, shame, and finger pointing, and instead embraced empathy and understanding. They chose to stand united, recognizing that they were connected by a shared history and that together they could empower each other to transcend their past. With time, the community's spirit of compassion and acceptance spread like wildfire. Their newfound courage to embrace change and confront their conditioning inspired neighboring villages, touching hearts far and wide. And so the descendants of atrocities became beacons of hope and agents of positive change. They ensured that they had not forgotten their history. They learned from it. With acceptance, empathy, and courage, they redefined their identities and created a future that honored their past while transcending its shadows. The story of Destiny and her community serves as a timeless reminder to us all. Blaming and shaming each other may be tempting, but it holds us back from growth and unity. Instead, let us acknowledge the past, accept our conditioning, and bravely embrace change. By doing so, we empower ourselves and create a world where compassion and understanding paves the way to a brighter tomorrow for all.